Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Bhunityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to our Sunday Feast program. Been asked to speak on this subject of the holy occasion of Sri Ram Navami. Seek the blessings of the Vaishnavas, the Srila Prabhupada, and the beloved lordships to speak a few words for my purification. Hare Krishna. The glories of Sri Ramachandra have been sung for millions upon millions of years. It is so powerful a pastime which the Lord depicted during his manifest Leela that has actually carved and sculpted the very direction of human civilization for thousands and thousands of years. How powerful is the Lord's pastimes, and how impactful is His presence been to human civilization since so many millennia. Ram Navami. Now has two meanings. Now means 9, the 9th day of the moon he was born. And now also means new. And that is why they say alphabetically, if you multiply 9 with 1, it is 9. Multiply 9 with 2, it is 18. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 and 4 is 36. 3 plus 6 is 9. So Ram Navami, Ram's Leela are always going to be Nava, new. Even now when you and I read Ramayana, our hearts erupt with joy. To see the beautiful saga of this great saint Sripad Valmiki wrote in 24,000 beautiful verses over 7 kands consisting of the Balya Kand, Ayodhya Kand, Aranya Kand, Sundar Kand, Yuddha Kand, Uttar Kand. 7 kands. It starts off very beautifully. And one day in his hermitage, Sripad Valmiki is sitting there, and Narad Muni, being the way he is, the spontaneous space traveler, landed in his hermitage. And that inspired Valmiki to ask a very powerful question. The relationship between the spiritual master and disciple is based on asking questions and getting perfect answers. One of Prabhupada's books is called Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. So it's a perfect question by Sripad Narad Muni, by Valmiki, and a perfect answer by his Guru Maharaj. So he asked, who's the most perfect personality in this world today? Who's free from anger, who's most beautiful and charming, who's compassionate and also very courageous, who's very, very dutiful in all his duties which is required for him to perform. At the same time, he is extremely grateful at heart. He is very, very chivalrous and powerful, and he is full of all virtues, being the well-wisher of all living beings. Who is this person who is Sarva Guna Sampanna? Therefore, he is called, one of the names of the Lord is Aganita Guna Gana Bhushana Ram. Right? Narad Muni was most happy to hear this question, and he knew the answer spontaneously, immediately. But he was so choked up with emotion that he couldn't say. So I'll tell you this answer tomorrow. His eyes were brimming with tears to remember his blessed Lord. And next day he said that this person is none other than Sri Ram. There are 3 Purushottamas. There is Ram, who's Maryada Purushottama. There is Krishna, who's Leela Purushottama. There is Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who's Audarya Purushottama. Right? Maryada Purushottama means he is the ultimate standard benchmarking for all that is good in this world. If there is anybody courageous, the standard is Ram. If anybody is dutiful in this world, it is Ram. If it is a true well-wisher of all living beings and grateful person, it is Sri Ram. So he is the Maryada. Maryada means the very highest limits of excellence is Ram. If that is Ram, then Krishna, his excellence is all that is in Ram, and beyond that, element of beautiful sweetness. Not much of Ram's pastimes in his childhood are given in the Valmiki Ramayana, maybe 1 or 2, and a few in Kamba Ramayana in Tamil language. But as far as we are concerned, as Vaishnavas, we have hundreds and hundreds of pastimes of Krishna's childhood pastimes. And obviously, when a child performs pastimes, it is always so sweet. So that is this Krishna. And Audari means unlimited compassion, even to the most undeserving. Imagine now all three in one, and how merciful will be that personality. That is the Shadbhuj form of the Lord, which was revealed to his dear devotee, Sri Sarvam Bhattacharya. And therefore, in Kali Yuga, actually, Prabhupada even recommends that the person who is most worshipable actually is Shadbhuj form of the Lord. Because all three, the grace of all these three highestly most divine personalities is there in one. The Lord is considered as the caretaker of Ayodhya. A few words about Ayodhya would be important to talk about. All the more that now that Ayodhya is come on the map of everyone's heart because of Lord Ram's present the holy land of India. One that is not conquerable, Ayodhya, Yuddha. One which cannot be defeated in Yuddha is Ayodhya. Very long, 12 yojanas long, 3 yojanas wide city, right? Replete with moats and the highest defense mechanisms of the time, making it impenetrable and invincible. Advanced technologies, even there is no rain for a long, long time, there's never any deficiency. Completely guarded by highest security systems. It was not only invincible from external attacks of enemies, as any kingdom would want to be, but it was not even attacked by internal enemies, and that is important. The residents of Ayodhya expressed the highest degree of moral behavior and character. There was no need for charity in Ayodhya. Nobody did any charity. Why? Everyone was supremely prosperous. There's no need. And if someone had anything less, then Dashrath Maharaj was more than happy to share whatever he had to the limits. One of the most charitable kings the world has seen. Dashrath Nandan. Ram is called as Dashrath Nandan. It starts off with Ayodhya was governed by Khatwanga Maharaj, the great devotee whom we heard about. You know the story of Khatwanga Maharaj, ancestor of Lord Ram, who was told that you only have one moment to live in this world. That Khatwanga Maharaj. Dirgabahu. It was followed by Aja, then Raghu, then Aja, and then Dashratha, and then his son Sri Ram. So for 11 years, there was no rain in Ayodhya. But nobody felt the absence of rain because there was so much of systematic, water arrangements done. The 12th year, something was felt that some deficiency is there. And then the astrologers said that it is because Shani is having its crooked vision on Ayodhya. The story will tell us about how Ram had two fathers. Ram had two fathers and 8 brothers. There were 8 brothers. I'll tell you about that. How did he have 2 fathers? So Dashrath Maharaj, coming to know that his city of Ayodhya, whom he is supposed to take care as the guardian of the land for his praja, his citizens, became concerned, and he attacked Shani on his chariot. Shani, looking at him with more crooked eyes, made his chariot fall from the sky. And he was falling free fall. G equal to 9.8 meters per second square. Free fall. He was falling. He was seen by Jatayu. And Jatayu opened his wings. It's a huge bird. And his chariot felt on the soft feathers of Jatayu. His life was saved. And Jatayu said, I am with you. So Dasharatha said, okay, let's go and attack Shni again. So now with Jatayu's presence, Jatayu was extremely powerful. Very, very powerful personality. Right? Unlimited strength. When they both attack, then he says, so I don't want to fight with you. I remove my vision, crooked vision from Ayodhya. He turned his face, and there was rain. Dasharatha Maharaj was very happy with Jatayu. He said, ask for benediction. Jatayu said, if you ever get a son, give him to me. And that's how we know that when Jatayu was found wounded, Dasharatha Maharaj gave him the love of a son. He couldn't perform the last rites of his father because he was not there in the kingdom. But he performed the last rites of this vulture. Right? Because he was father. So Ram has two fathers. Jatayu had the same Vatsalya bhav for Ram, and Ram had the same paternal feeling for this great vulture devotee of his. However, Dasharatha's joy started to wane away when after marrying 350 wives, he had no son. And the Raja or his Praja must provide an heir to the throne. A beautiful story about Maharaj Rishabhsingha, which you have probably heard before. But since it is Ram Navami, we must talk about the Lord's divine appearance. Janma karma chame divyam. So, Rishabhsingha informs Maharaj that we must now perform the Putra Kameshti Yagya. The qualification for doing this is to do before that a Ashwamedh Yagya, in which you have to send, as you know, the horse all over the world. That being performed and successfully done, Putra Kameshti Yagya is performed. And this divine being appears. The pot, golden pot of sweet rice. The first portion goes to Kaushalya. She gets the first portion. Second portion goes to Sumitra. The third one goes to his dearmost wife, Kaikai. There is still some more rice, sweet rice. Whom should I give it to? Since the womb of Kaushalya was to be occupied with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there's no room for somebody else there. And Sumitra is called as Sri Lekha. Sri Lekha, now Dasharatha Maharaj was overly attached to Kaikai, we know, because of her outstanding beauty. But he was not aware of Sumitra's good qualities also. He was not blind to that. She had the quality of being completely non-envious, extremely cooperative, and tremendous attitude of seva. Therefore, these three qualities, when they are there, they call as Sri Lekha. Sri means that opulence of these three qualities were there. And knowing this, the last part goes back to Sumitra. Kaushalya honors it immediately. Then Kaikai honors it. Sumitra waits. And then she honors it. Why? Because she wanted her sons to be followers of Kaikai and Kaushalya. The mood of the mother before pregnancy and during pregnancy determines to a large extent the mood and the character of the child. So Rama also is called as Kaushalya Sukhavardhana Ram. Kaushalya Sukhavardhana Ram. Hmm? So it takes Ram, it takes the pregnancy. We have human pregnancies, 9 months and 9 days. But Ram is divine. It took 12 months. So 12 months, and at the time when the Punarvasu star is manifesting, the Lord was born. The next day morning, Lakshman is born, Bharat is born. And the next day in the afternoon, the two twins are born. So we don't celebrate them, but we should acknowledge that next day is Lakshman's appearance day and the twin brothers' appearance day as well. So both days actually are very, very holy for us. Ram Navami and then also Dashmi, both are important. As the news reached Dashrath, when Nanda Maharaj came to know that the child is born to Yashoda Mai, right? It was the morning time, and there was time when everyone was milking the cow. So the distance from where he was milking the cows in the barn with the cows and the maternity home of Yashoda Mai, it said he couldn't walk. He was just frozen in emotion, right? And the Lord had to help him to actually walk to the maternity room. He was so much overtaken by joy. Dashrath felt that the distance between his palace and the place where Kaushalya was staying, her palace, was so far. He couldn't just walk enough fast. But he ultimately reached, right? And when he beheld this child in his hand, right? All the 6 opulence of the Lord, Aishwaryasya Samagrasya, Viryasya Yashasya Sriyaha, Jnanam Vairagyaschaiva, Shandam Bhaga, Itingana. Right? These are the personality of Godhead's opulences, which are defined by Sripad Parasara Muni. Ram excels in beauty. There are various times in the Ramayana where Ram's beauty has been described very beautifully. When Dashrath is holding Ram in his hands, he felt that the whole universe has come into his hands. His eyes became completely transfixed. He had never seen such a beautiful child, and nobody has ever seen such a beautiful child. Most beautiful child. His heart was overflowing and melting away. He wanted to give thousands of cows in charity. He wanted to celebrate in a big way by giving all the Brahmanas as much as they wanted. He wanted to have great festivals. But he forgot all of that because Ram was in front of him. And therefore his heart was melting away in joy just by looking at Ram. At other times, where his beauty is described is when Vishwamitra Muni goes with Ram and Lakshman to the forest, as we know, as young children, 16-year-old, when the Vishwamitra Muni takes them to the forest for taking care of the atrocities created by Tataka, Subahu and Maricha. So, when they are going through the various forests, right, and then at one time it is described in the Ramayana that Ram and Lakshman are sleeping on the green grass. They are princes, used to all opulences, but now with Vishwamitra Muni, they are so happy to perform the austerities of being just simple pupils of this great sage Vishwamitra Muni. And Vishwamitra Muni gets up earlier because he is a sage used to a consistent lifestyle where he gets up very early in the morning, performs his oblations, and when he comes and sees these two children, his people sleeping, Vishwamitra is awestruck. Yeah. He's awestruck to see. There again, this powerful sage. In one sense, the sage is extremely hard-hearted because he has done so much tapasya in his life. Those of us, we know the story of Vishwamitra's tapasya, right? We know that there's nobody we can imagine, who had tapasya done to such a degree. He was Such a great tapasvi. From Brahmarshi, Devarshi, he kept on doing tapasya to get equal to Vashishta. We know the story, right? So he was so hard, tough, as you call it, But by seeing the beauty of these two small 16-year-old lads sleeping, his heart started melting away. For the first time in his entire life, Vishwamitra experienced unlimited affection for somebody coming through a soft heart. Who could do that? The beauty of Sri. They only had heard of Ram. They never seen him. But as they're sitting, Ram is coming from afar, and they're on the top of the hill in their hermitages. And through the trees, they see a emerald golden effulgence walking. A green-colored emerald golden effulgence is walking through the between the tree leaves. You can see something walking, and their jaws dropped. Who is this person? Even though seeing him fully in his full form, they were so struck with wonder. Who is this person? As Ram comes, walked like an elephant, powerful gait, confident, right? Long arms, ajanulambita bhujo, right? Thin waist, lotus-like eyes, beautiful curling hair, and such a beautiful smiling face, which draws from your heart affection, love, and bhakti, right? When they see that, these great sages who are otherwise used to so much of tapasya, our sage. When rishis curse, it is also called as a curse blessing. It is not just one-sided. What is the power of those lotus feet, which we all worship? We all have hard-hearted, stone-like hearts. Prabhupada describes in the Gundicha Marjanam pastime that in the heart we have something called as Hridaya Simhasana. We have a throne in our heart. That throne is the most eligible place for the Lord to reside, the Lord to govern our life, and to control our mind and senses, and control our entire existence. But that place is occupied by our ahankar. They perform activities on the basis of jana samohoyam aham mameti. But when they shelter of Sri Ram's lotus feet, even our hard-hearted, stone-like heart, it doesn't melt by seeing the Lord. It doesn't melt by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. It doesn't melt when we perform Abhishek of the Lord. It doesn't melt by dancing in the kirtan. Because we are hard-hearted, steel-framed. But we must take shelter of those Ram feet. The Ram is Srimad Ahilya Udharaka Ram. Now Ram has entered into Mithila. Right? So he's also called as Mithila Purajana Mohakaram. Wherever he goes, he is Mohak. Mohan, Christians call as Mohan, is Mohak. He attracts. The Lord is all attractive. In whatever form he comes, he is all attractive. If he comes as a boar, he is all attractive. If he comes as a tortoise, he is all attractive. How can a tortoise be all attractive? But the tortoise can be all attractive. It can be all attractive. Because God in the form of tortoise, he is all attractive. So, Vishwamitra Muni is just going around, saying Mithila Nagari, the land of Maharaj Janak. As I'm moving around, there is great anticipation. People are wondering what is going to happen now. And Sita Maya is there in her palace, on the terrace, right? And Ram is below. And somehow, the glance, one glance, and their glance meet each other, right? And that glance is the eternal glance where Mother Sita reunites with Ram through their glance first. She is struck with Ram's beauty, and Ram is struck with Sita's beauty. Right? And it was just a glance, but it looked like such a long, long time for them. But to that glance, they gave their hearts to each other forever. The next day, when they go to the place where the Shiv Dhanush was kept, several hundred men could not lift it, including Ravan, who apparently had even lifted Kailash. But he couldn't lift this bow. So powerful, right? What is the Lord's strength? Somebody who could lift Kailash is not able to lift this bow. How heavy can a bow possibly be? What is Lord Shiva's strength to hold such a bow? So we can even imagine the power of Shiva in this. If Ravan could hold a mountain, but Shiva can hold the bow, which Ravan could not hold. Right? And Ram, looking at the bow, looks at his Gurudev. And Gurudev says, yes, you have my permission. And nothing with Ram did in his life was without the permission of his Guru Maharaj. Even though he is God, his supreme Godhead, but always humble. So even if one is God, one is humble, what do you talk of people like you and me? We're not even godly still. We are far from being godly. But that supreme quality which attracts the Lord is humility. He was blessed through his eyes. Yes, you have my blessings. Go ahead. He doesn't just go and lift up the bow. He offers his parikrama. He worships that bow first. The tadiya of Lord Shiva. It's not just a plaything. Right? He worships this bow first. And then he holds it. And just like they say, a child, this small little child, if she's asked to lift a mushroom, what about strength she has to use for that? Nothing. For Ram, that powerful bow, more powerful than Kailash mountain, that is Ram. Unlimited strength in the arms of Ram. Right? How powerful will be the Lord's arms? The most powerful Kshatriya in the world is Lord Ram. The power to destroy all evil on the planet is the Lord Ram. And therefore is worshipped as the destroyer of all evil. His name is also in the scriptures as Videha Manasa Ranjakaram. Videha means the lieutenant of Videha, Mother Sita. Videha Manasa Ranjakaram. When the Lord gets married, all the four brothers are married. You know the whole story, you know the whole pastime. And then the unfortunate event of Ram's banishment takes place. By association, how mindful we have to be of the association we keep. Kaikai loved Ram so much. Ram loved Kaikai so much. There's unlimited love in the heart of this soft-hearted lady, beautiful lady, the mother of Bharat. How could in one night a mother who's willing to give her life for her child be corrupted to become her worst enemy and enjoy the sadistic pleasure of destruction of his entire life? How is that possible? It's something which we always must ponder about. That is the Shakti of the poisonous association. And how Prabhupada tells us again and again in his books to keep away from association which contaminates us. Asatsanga tyaga ai Vaishnavachar. Three Sangha sadhu, three Sangi, eka sadhu, Krishna Bhakta are. So keeping away from non-devotee association, and for all those associations which are unfavorable for the progress of Krishna consciousness. Mantra's example will be always supreme in the hearts of the devotees of what they should not do. Including, of course, Ravan's example. Somebody was asked this question, what do we learn from, devotees were discussing this, so what do we learn from Bharat's example? What do you understand from Sita's example? What do we learn from, Hanuman? So we learn from so many things from these great personalities. So we do also learn from Ravan's example. What do you learn from Ravan's example? You learn from Ravan's example what we should not do. Right? So Ravan, now this is another very powerful example of the Ramayana. The way Ravan has been picturized, been depicted. Extremely powerful, subduer of all demigods, the Navagrahas who control the destiny of all our lives from a karmic perspective. Krishna, of course, is the supreme controller, but karmic perspective, the Navagrahas are controlling us. They had become the stepping stones to his throne as he walked up in his darbar. They're all there like this, and he had to step over them and he was going up them. And Indra was cutting sabji in his kitchen. That is the extent of control. All the vegetable cooking, we have vegetable cooking for the festival, and we have manpower for that. We have to tell devotees, please come, Seva is there. He didn't have to tell. All the demigods are there ready to work, cutting dudhi and carrots in the kitchen of Ravan. He was so powerful. Nobody dared to go against him. Powerful, very, very, very intelligent. He knew all scriptures, but he followed none of them. Something to learn. We may also know a lot of scriptures by Prabhupada's mercy, but it depends on us how much we are actually following. That determines how much of godliness is there and how much of demonic nature we still have to take care of. Very chivalrous. But Ravan's example is very important to meditate upon again. How one can destroy the merit of piety by reckless behavior. We as Vaishnavas get a lot of piety by our devotional activities, by chanting, by reading scripture, by performing tapasya, getting up in the morning, taking a bath, applying tilak on our bodies, going to Mangala Aartis. However, that collective meritorious punya of devotion which we can gather can become covered over to a large extent by reckless behavior of bad sadachar. For while we stress sadhana is extremely important, we tend to forget the overwhelming importance of good behavior or sadachar. If sadhana is like a seed, and sadachar is like the soil. Only in the presence of proper sadachar or Vaishnava behavior will the seed of good sadhana fructify into love of God. So we can see in Ravan's case, in his entire life, he gathered not one, not two, not four, not five, but 18 strong curses. His life was a mess. Wherever he went, he practically ended up getting curses. He managed to conquer his his cousin, Kubera. And his mother told him, hey, your cousin has got Pushpak. What are you doing here? She got provoked. He attacked him, defeated him. Right? Took his Pushpak and started flying all over the Himalayas. Himalayas were very beautiful. But through the Himalayas, he saw one person sitting there. She is very beautiful. Who was that? That was the Tapasvi Vedavati. So Vedavati was like fire. She was so powerful in her tapasya. She was a tapasvini. Meritorious activities of long tapasya to get Vishnu as her husband. Ravan comes and proposes to her, and she says no, obviously. But Ravan could never accept no from anybody. A Rakshasa mind will never accept no, will never accept good counsel. That is Rakshasa mind. She grabbed her hair and she then chopped off her own hair with her mystic sword-like hands. And she was left with just a tuft of hand in his hand. Nothing, she was not there. But I will take care of this. You have touched and defiled my pure body, and my pure intent to worship Sri Vishnu will appear again, become the cause of your death. And so Ravan kept on gathering so many curses. And therefore, ultimately, he was weakened. He was weakened. Every time he got a curse, he was further and further weakened. The story goes further. Once, afterwards, when the Ram is banished to the forest, goes to Dandakaranya forest, and the Lord spends good time at Chitrakud mountain. At the stage, Bharadwaj Mushi says you go to Chitrakud mountain, right? That place is very much still there. It's a very important place for Vaishnavas to visit. Why? Because there you see the love manifest in a very graphic way of Ram and Maharaj Bharat. When Bharat Maharaj comes to know that Ram has been banished, he comes with all the chariots, elephants, the entire army, all the Ayodhya-vasis, they come. And he's so much in his heart not wanting to have a kingdom. What a type of era it must have been where you're getting the whole kingdom without even doing anything and you are so eager to give it back. Right? In contrast to so many property issues which Kali Yuga sees, where brothers keep fighting over property, brothers and sisters, that tooth and nail, they are in the dragging each other to the court for on what the father's will has meaning, and this belongs to me and this belongs to you. The courts of every country are filled with such cases of brothers and sisters fighting for father's property. And your brother is saying, no, I don't want this belongs to you, this belongs to you. And there's such a big discussion on this. And what type of love are we talking about? What divinity of love? When Bharat Maharaj comes and he sees that yes, there's a smoke there and there is a fire burning, he knows there is some hermit here, and he sees that yes, this is my brother's hermit, and he walks fast to that place, followed by Sumantra, the minister of, followed by the three mothers. They go up, and when Ram and Bharat meet, that embrace, that love is so intense, is so pure, is so selfless. The rocks melt. The rock melts. And that is for all of us to go and see today. If you go to Chitrakud mountain, Kamatgiri Parvat, you can see today on the Parikrama path the footprints of Ram and Bharat Maharaj. How very divine to touch those feet, Charan Sparsh, for the Ram's lotus feet and Bharat's lotus feet. Worshipable by the whole world. Bharat Maharaj is giving us such important lessons. Therefore, he is called as Mahatma Bharat. Example for all of us as practicing devotees, where you do all the services required to be done, but not seeking for any credit. In the absence of Ram, he worshipped his lotus feet in the form of his paduka, his divine shoes, kept them on the throne of his heart and on the altar of the right? He worshipped it, and they were the king and he was the servant. If my dear brother is sleeping on the floor, hard floor of the forest, I can't be sleeping on the floor. I must sleep below the floor. See, below the floor. If my brother is eating only roots and fruits, then he had only something cooked in cow urine, barley cooked in cow urine, matted his hair. He was the king of Ayodhya, but he had no opulences. He had no throne, he had nothing, right? So when you talk of the word servant leadership, nowadays when corporates talk about this word, they got it from ISKCON probably. How did they even catch this word? They must have read our books, attend some of our seminars. But that's what we are here for. We want leaders to be there, lot of leaders to be there. But the mood of the leader has to be, who's a better example of this in this world than Bharat Maharaj? Right? He was absolutely willing to take no credit for it, but doing everything required to be done as a king. In fact, the GDP of Ayodhya rose by 14 times in the absence of Lord Ram. There was prosperity because he was doing everything that is necessary. Right? So the credit-seeking tendency which we all have, the perks which we want, the facilities which we want, no facilities, no perks, no glory, no accolades, no garlands, nothing, but doing all the service that are required. That is Ram. That is Bharat Maharaj. Therefore, he has been called as Mahatma Bharat. Ramayana is incomplete without mentioning the word of Hanuman, the dearmost devotee of Lord Ram. Tomara hridaya sada Govinda Vishram. So we'll end with this beautiful pastime. Ramayana is practically over. Ram is coronated king. Mother Sita is sitting. Bharat Shatrugna are there fanning him. Hanuman is there on the side with folded hands. Ram Darbar is established. Ram Rajya has started. And Ram is saying, oh, we are so fortunate to have all of you here. I'm grateful for all that you have done for me. Help me to fight this war and bring back Mother Sita. Sita is also very happy. She says, yes, I remember Vibhishan, Jambavan, all of them were giving their lives. And of course, who can forget Sri, our dear devotee Hanuman? So Ram says, today I want to give you something, Hanuman. Please ask for a boon. He says, your lotus feet are enough for me. I don't want anything. Sita Maya is saying, she removes her priceless pearl necklace. Imagine the necklace worn by the goddess of fortune. She's the goddess of fortune. So what is the fortune in that necklace? So brings it out, gives it to Lord Ram and said, please give it to our Hanuman. Hanuman takes it in his hand. What does he do? He starts biting each pearl. Vibhishan is saying, what are you doing? How is it that you're destroying such a royal gift? Said, no, I'm just seeing whether my Ram is there in it or not. Vibhishan is saying, there are so many things in the world which may not have Ram in it. Are they all useless and worthless? Huh? Your body may not have Ram in it. Is it worthless? Hanuman cannot take that answer. My body may not have Ram in it. What did you say? That startles him. When he gets up, said, he wants to give a great example of how Ram is in his body. Said, and he gets up and said, Ram is there in my mind, is in every pore of my skin. Ram is inundated in my very existence, right? My mind is inundated with Ram. If you don't believe Vibhishan, I will show you. And then he opens his chest. What is this? What do you see inside? The holy forms of Sita and Ram are there. Right? Therefore it's called as Hriday Ram. Hanuman is called as Hriday Ram. One whose heart, Ram always resides. And his lovely, lovely, lovely associate is mood of always chanting Ram Naam. Yes, Srila Prabhupada has given us Ram Naam. Srila Prabhupada has given us Krishna Naam. Srila Prabhupada has given us everything we need to go back to Godhead. Our heart today swell in gratitude to Srila Prabhupada for giving us the Mahamantra, which is the power of Sri Radha, the grace and power of Krishna, and the beloved blessings of our Lord Sri Ram. And therefore Mahaprabhu chanted this wherever he went on the South Indian tour. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava Rakshamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava Pahimam. Hey Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava Rakshamam. Hey Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava Rakshamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava Pahimam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी महाराज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.